I'll do record.
You share your screen.
Oh yeah, that might help. Hang on one sec. Start the presentation as well.
Right, and I'm now going to admit all. We're at 50.
From beginning.
Oh, hang on. I'll wait for you to get to the beginning.
Sorry, I said do it from beginning, but it got upset. There we go.
Perfect. Ready?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. We're just letting everybody into the Zoom. Lovely to see you all on a bit of a grey Tuesday morning in July. If you haven't already, if you could pop yourself on mute, that would be amazing. And we are going to be recording this session, so if you don't want to be on screen, don't put your camera on. But we'll just give it a second to get everybody in. But whilst we're waiting, I'll just do a couple of introductions. So I think most of you will know me. I'm Gemma. I'm head of sales in the North for If Only. I'm joined by my colleague Charlotte, head of sales South. She's the Zoom queen and letting you all in and going to be watching the chat box. We've also got the lovely Leanne from Travel Promoters, who's going to be telling you all about some of her amazing product. And we've also got our ASSI expert, Africa specialist, our product manager, Ali. So we'll be hearing from her later on. So I think I've kind of actually done my agenda. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we should only keep you for an hour, hopefully, so you can get back to your days. So yeah, we do appreciate you taking the time to join. So we're just going to quickly run through a South Africa product update and an If Only update. Then we'll pass across to Leanne for her section. Then we will hear from Ali on our ASSI expert. And then a lot of you have submitted questions already, so thank you so much for doing that. But if any of you do think of any of the questions as we go through the session today, if you just want to pop them in the chat box or the chat stream, we can try and answer those for you at the moment. And then Leanne has very kindly donated some nice prizes. There's some goodie bags and vouchers up for grabs. So we're going to have the prize wheel at the end. So I'm going to make a start. So yeah, if you can just pop yourself on mute if you haven't already, that would be great. So I like to always just do a little bit of an If Only update. People who come on these webinars regularly could probably do this section for me, but hey, there we go. So just a reminder, here at If Only, we are 100% trade focused. And we've got an amazing team. Our service really is second to none. We've got a fantastic set of reservation consultants who are all specialists. And we've got some fantastic Africa specialists who are here ready and waiting to help with those inquiries. As I mentioned, there's myself and Charlotte with both the head of sales, and we're here with the rest of our team to help and support you drive sales to If Only. And how it works, we're actually split into 3 teams within the call centre at If Only. So we've got the beach team, the tailor-made team, which you'll hopefully all be contacting after this session to get your Africa inquiries in. And then we've also got Europe as well. Always like to remind you guys that we pay commission on the entire holiday cost, including tax, which is a great selling point. And we are a luxury tour operator. So all of our product is kind of high-end 4-star and 5-star. Another one of our key selling points is we do try and get special requests guaranteed where possible. As customers become more and more demanding, this can be even more important for you guys, so we can help and assist with that. And that's because we have some amazing relationships with our supplier partners. So they'll work with us, and that also ensures that we're getting great rates that we can pass on to you guys as well. So yeah, we might be a luxury tour operator, but we still have some competitive pricing, and we will always try and price match where possible. We work really close with all of our airline partners, obviously for our long haul product for Africa. It's all the schedule guys, so like your BAs, your Virgins. And we do, as a luxury tour operator, still send you out some beautifully presented travel documents. Another thing that we're also really, really proud of is we have a less than 0.5% complaint ratio. And that's because we're very, very particular in terms of the product that we sell. It is all handpicked. When you do make a quote with ourselves, we will send you out a very lovely professional looking e-quote with your logo on it. If you haven't got your logos on, you can contact myself or Charlotte and we can get that sorted out for you. We do reward you for every booking you make. And yeah, we've pretty much got most bases covered now. So we can be your long haul and short haul operator for luxury holidays, covering pretty much all areas of the world. So yeah, lots of opportunities for you to come to us. So that's our gang, that's the team. So there's myself and Charlotte there. We've got Vicky, who works with me in the north, Jen's down in the south, and we've got our lovely Denise, who's based in the office to help and support us. And we all report into Tracy Doherty, our sales director, who works alongside Gordon, our general manager, to basically run the business. So that's us. But these are the most important guys. These are our amazing call centre staff who are based up in Glasgow, ready and waiting to take your calls. They're a very experienced bunch. And as I mentioned, it's going to be the guys in TaylorMade that you need to speak to help you with your Africa inquiries. There's a reservations number there if you want to take a note of it. And you can also email through. So yeah, quite a good slide to take a photo of if you want to get those contact details. So brochure wise, we've got our 4 main brochures: Beach Journeys, Europe and Cruise, all available to order on Tradegate. And it's the Journeys brochure, which includes our Africa product. But then we've got our lovely new Southern Africa mini brochure, which we brought out earlier this year, which has been going down a storm. This one isn't actually available to order on Tradegate, but it is available to view on our website. And we do have some copies in the office. So if anybody does need supplies, just pop myself or Charlotte a note and we can get those organised for you. So what I wanted to do today was highlight some of the new destinations which we've launched in this new brochure. So we have been doing South Africa for a little while, but with the birth of this new brochure, we've now added in Botswana, Namibia and Zimbabwe. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some key points on those areas, as well as just kind of remind you what we've got from a South Africa perspective as well. And just take you through the brochure because it is a great selling tool for you guys to use with your clients. So let's start off with South Africa. As I say, we have had this in the programme a little while now, but it has been going phenomenally well, easy for me to say, hence the reason we launched our mini brochure. So within the Africa brochure, you've got for each area kind of an overview summary, which is super handy. But yeah, so from a South Africa perspective, we've got kind of your usual suspects. So a lot of the itineraries that we put together start off with Cape Town. Obviously a really kind of key point on any itinerary doing Southern Africa. And then a lot of people do tend to go to the winelands. So if you're a foodie like me and enjoy your wine like me, it is going to be your dream destination because there's so many different hotels and restaurants to choose from. Really popular destinations are the likes of Franschhoek, Stellenbosch and Paarl, where you can go and do your wine tasting. Then a lot of people tend to start heading east and taking the garden route, which is a great option for self-drive. It actually takes in a 200-kilometre stretch of coastline with lots of amazing different towns and destinations that you can visit on the way. And it really is stunning. It's got your mountains on one side and there's so many beautiful beaches. You've got your indigenous forests and beautiful flowers. And that's the reason it's called the garden route, because of the stunning wildlife and scenery. Then at the other end of the garden route, you're going to end up on the Eastern Cape. And this is where you can actually take part in some safari activity. So people just wanting to head straight down there can actually fly into Port Elizabeth. And then a couple of hours of drive from there, you've got some really nice resorts. And the great thing about that area of South Africa, it is malaria free. So great for families with children. And then another really popular area is KwaZulu-Natal. Which I've actually been to. It's home of the battlefields and I absolutely loved it. So you've got Umhlanga Rocks, you've got the Drakensberg Escarpment, and the kind of key city up there is Durban, which is an absolutely stunning city, very popular with surfers. So yeah, a little bit of some kind of headliners there on South Africa. So moving on to one of our kind of new destinations, Botswana. Again, you've got a little section in our brochure which will give you kind of some headline key selling points. And I did forget to say, someone had asked actually as one of the questions if we had some kind of fact sheets which could make you guys look amazing. And we do, so we will share those with you after the session today, and therefore the different areas that we're going to be covering. So for those of you who are fresh to Botswana, it is renowned for its exceptional wildlife, and it's actually one of Africa's premier safari destinations. You've got the Okavango Delta, which is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the world's largest inland deltas. Then you've got the Makadi Salt Pan Plains. So great for wildlife spotting. You're going to see meerkat, zebra, wildebeest, and then in the spring it turns completely pink with the flamingos. And then another really kind of key area in Botswana is the Chobe National Park. And this is perfect for water-based safaris. It's basically just one big interlinked water system. Now, I didn't actually know this, but Botswana is home to a third of Africa's elephants. And a third of these are actually based in the Chobe area. And so if you have got any clients who are really into seeing the elephants, perfect time to go is between July and November, when there is an elephant migration and you see these mega herds of elephants crossing the river. So yeah, so some key points on Botswana there. Then another one of our new is Zimbabwe. And again, we've got an area within the brochure. We've got a really nice kind of 11-night itinerary taken in Zimbabwe. And a lot of people wanting to do Zimbabwe are going to be going for the Victoria Falls. So Victoria Falls itself is actually a small town centered in the national park, but is obviously famous for its falls, which are classed as one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. And the national park itself is a World Heritage Site. So yeah, perfect if you've got any adrenaline junkies as customers who are wanting to go bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, microlighting, boogie boarding. That's all going to be available for them in Victoria Falls. But there is something for the more kind of sedate clients like myself. There's river cruises, cultural visits, steam train safari sounds much more my bag. But yeah, a lot of people obviously wanting to do Zimbabwe and experience Victoria Falls. You've also got the Wangi National Park, which is actually one of the oldest national parks in Africa. And here you're going to see a lot of wild dogs and a lot of lions. Another key area is Lake Kariba, which is actually one of the world's largest man-made lakes and reservoirs, and it's on the edge of the Zambezi River. So basically it was a massive area. They built the Kariba Dam, but before they flooded it, they actually burnt the existing vegetation, which has then created this really kind of like extraordinary ecology. So that's why it attracts so many amazing animals and bird species. So great for kind of bird watching. And then another key one in Zimbabwe is the Mana Pools. Again, another World Heritage Site. It's along the edge of the Zambezi River, so lots of activities to do. But the pools actually refer to kind of 4 oxbow lakes, which have remained from when the Zambezi River changed course. So yeah, lots of things to see and do in Zimbabwe. And then our last new destination that we've added in is Namibia. It looks absolutely breathtaking in terms of its scenery. But again, home to a lot of amazing things in Namibia. So it really is a real kind of ultimate luxury experience for people wanting to go out and be in the desert, but do it in a luxury way. So it's actually home to the Namib Desert, which is 80 million years old. So the world's oldest desert. And as well as being home to the world's oldest desert, it's also home to the world's tallest sand dune, which is called Dune 7. So again, great for those thrill seekers who can sandboard down its slopes. You've also got the Fisher River Canyon in Namibia, which is actually the largest canyon in Africa and the second largest canyon in the world after the Grand Canyon in the US. And then another real key thing, which a lot of people like to experience in Namibia, is called the Skeleton Coast. And you can actually take a flight safari over there. And it's known as the world's largest ship cemetery. So basically, this piece of coastline has some really harsh weather, rough seas, and has become the final resting place for a lot of ships that have got caught up in those terrible weather systems there. So yeah, if you've got anybody into that kind of thing, Namibia is for them. So all of these destinations are within the brochure, and you've got those kind of like summary sheets which tell you a bit more information. But then another key thing that we've got in the brochure is all about what to expect from a safari holiday. And I think a lot of people wanting to do Africa or want to go on safari. So this is a great tool. It basically takes you through what a kind of typical day on safari looks like, as well as giving you some information on what your customers are going to pack. So this all can be found in the brochure. So we've got this fantastic selling tool for you guys, but then another fantastic selling tool that we have are our e-quotes, which you receive every time you do a Africa inquiry with us. So I'm going to show you one of these now. This is a sample, and it basically comes over branded with your customer's name and will detail everything that is on their quote. And we've been getting such amazing feedback on these because they basically immerse the customer in their dream holiday and make them want to book it. So I'm not a fan of the music, so bear with the music, but the content is amazing. So I'm going to play this for you now. How amazing is that? So yeah, you get that for every Africa quote. And then if the client actually books, that kind of like stays live so they can show it to all their friends and family so they can see where they're going. So I am going over my allocated time slot, so I'm going to whiz through this, but just wanted to touch on the fact that we do obviously have cruise, and we have some really, really nice itineraries incorporating Africa with a cruise. So yeah, we've currently got our Beyond the Horizon brochure, which again is available to you online. And we've got a really, really nice cruise itinerary on there. So yeah, if anybody's interested in that, you can have a little peek. So don't forget, we've got our website, and this is where you're going to be able to find lots of amazing Africa deals. Just wanted to highlight a couple. We actually had this out on an e-shot yesterday and got some really good traction, which is a really nice itinerary doing Rovers Rail. So if you've got any customers interested in that, we've got a nice offer there. And then we've got this, I love this, epic South Africa self-driving safari, which is actually taking in kind of all your key areas and has got a safari at the end at Shamwari. So yeah, but you can find all the details on the website. And again, make sure on our Facebook page, because we always put lots of offers up on there, and we have got some Africa offers on there as well at the moment. So just to kind of finish off, don't forget, as I say, we reward you for every booking. So we have our My Loyalty Card scheme. So every Africa booking that you do with ourselves, you are going to get incentivized. And then this is the exciting part. You're actually going to be in with a chance to go and experience Africa for yourself if you do a booking with us, because you will go into our draw to win a place on a fam trip that's going to be going out to Cape Town later on this year. So how amazing is that? So yeah, you could go experience it for yourself. And I just wanted to let you guys know as well, we've actually just joined ATA, which is the Africa Travel and Tourism Association. And again, it just shows our commitment to kind of like driving this destination and promoting this beautiful part of the world. So yeah, we'll keep you posted because we're going to be getting involved with their various events and trainings. So yeah, very excited to just have joined that great organization. So obviously we've got the Ask the Experts. I can see some stuff in the chat, so Charlotte will hopefully be keeping an eye on that. And we can answer your questions at the end. But I am now going to pass over to Leanne from Travel Promoters. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then Leanne can share her.
Great, thanks, Gemma. Let me share my screen quickly.
So anyway, we are going to Magistrates Court.
Right, hi everybody. As Gemma mentioned, my name is Leanne from Travel Promoters. We represent a portfolio of game lodges, luxury hotels and boutique properties across Southern and East Africa. But for today's overview, we've just really chosen a few of these properties within South Africa, just to highlight the various areas and the offerings that we have, just to give you a taste of what's out there. So I think let's start in Johannesburg with Fairlawns Boutique Hotel and Spa. The Fairlawns used to be a manor house, actually a private residence, and it's now a 5-star boutique hotel. It sits on a lovely big property of 5.5 acres in these beautiful lush gardens, almost like a real urban sanctuary. And actually, for me, a really lovely welcome to Johannesburg, or a great departure from Johannesburg. You know, it's not just a city stopover. And it has this beautiful eclectic mix throughout the hotel. So very central and accessible. It's only a 30-minute drive from OR Tambo Airport. The hotel does have a chauffeur transfer service on site, you know, if guests are wanting to do tours to and from town. So for guests spending a couple of days in Johannesburg and wanting to do activities, Fairlawns is about 5 minutes from Central Sandton to do some shopping, or a 15-minute drive from Johannesburg city centre. And there's so many options to choose from in Johannesburg. The Josie Coffee tours, the Soweto bicycle tours, you've got your Mabaneng, and you've got your different markets. So really great options. So there's 41 suites across the hotel, all really unique in their decor and layout, each with varying themes. Not one is the same. There are various categories or choices to choose from. So I'll just really run through each of them and highlight the key things. Here you can see the courtyard suites. We have 12 of them that have just been refurbished. We have our Grand Chateau suites, which is really great for multi-gen families or small groups, because we do have adjoining family suites available in this wing. And this wing can also accommodate special needs guests, because we have access with an elevator as well. So really nice to keep that in mind. We have the villa suites. There's 6 of those. We have the tree house, which has a 2-bedroom studio, so really great for long stays. There's also the Mason Spa suite, which is a 4-bedroom apartment. And then we've also got Villa Emoji on the property, which is a standalone villa. So ideal for exclusive stays, has a beautiful garden and a private swimming pool, and is a fully serviced residence. So you can see from those, there's quite a variety to choose from, really depending on what your clients are looking for. Really popular at the hotel is the high tea at Tea in the Woods. It's got this birchwood forest theme, and looks out onto the hotel gardens and the fountain area. It's very lavish, but also quite fun and different. It has a selection of teas and sweet treats, which are delicious. And then also across the hotel, there's a variety of dining experiences for the guests. So you've got your fine dining, there's a la carte options, picnics. We've got the alfresco dining on the terrace. There's also the lovely champagne lounge. And then those that are wanting private dining, maybe for an anniversary dinner or a birthday dinner, we have the 7 Colors private dining room, which you can see far right at the bottom. And then, of course, the Balinese inspired spa. I would definitely urge clients to book the spa. These are really the things that make the difference to their actual arrival or departure out of Johannesburg. It really becomes a part of their itinerary and not just a city stopover. So now we head from Johannesburg through to Madikwe Game Reserve in the Northwest Province of South Africa, bordering Botswana. You can see top left. Very accessible. It's a 1-hour flight with Federal Air into the Eastern Airstrip from OR Tambo International. Or if the guests are wanting to do a self-drive up, they can do it. It's a 4-hour drive in from the airport. And there's 5 main gates. Motledi being the main entrance from Johannesburg and up, or your guests can come in via the Botswana side through the Tower Gate. So the lodge is located, as I mentioned, in the eastern region of the reserve. It's a Big 5 Super 7. cheetah and wild dog. It is malaria free, so great for families with young children. And Madikwe really offers a broad mix of habitats and landscapes, so it's really a great all-year-round safari option. There's 3 sites in the reserve, 1 family orientated and 2 private. And then this map you can see gives you an idea of the layout of the 3 lodges that run along the base of the hillside, all interconnecting. You've got Lalibela Lodge, which is your family-friendly. You've got Kapana, which is smaller and more intimate and private in the middle. And then you've got Databa, which is your exclusive use option. So we'll start with Lalibela. It's the biggest of the 3 lodges, very popular for families. Madikwe Safari Lodge actively caters for children. They take children of all ages. And Lalibela has a great layout. There's family suites and activities on the one side, and the luxury suites are on the other. Here you can see the new entrance and the new reception area. There's lots of space in the lounge, different lounge areas for the guests to relax. There's a shared guest pool overlooking the watering hole, and there's constantly game coming through there. So it's really lovely to sit there and watch that. So Lalibela means family in Setswana, and that is what it is. Here you can see the family suite with the lounge area and the kiddies' bedroom with the bunk beds stocked with games and toys. All the rooms are lovely and spacious. They've got this private plunge pool. There's a fireplace and an outdoor shower. The new eco house, which has just been built, this is the Children's Conservation-Based Activity Centre, which is really great. We have a kids program called the Adventure Safari Club, and the field guides will spend time with the children. They'll look for animal sport tracks, treasure hunts. We do an evening out where the chef will do pizza making, and we'll do movies under the stars for them. Also really great is we offer a kiddies game drive after breakfast for the younger children under 5. And we call it the Bumble Drive. So mom and dad will go out with the little ones on a drive. Here we have Kapana Lodge, which is really a small gathering as well. That's really what it is. It's small and intimate, exclusive luxury with only 4 suites. Now here we don't take children under 16 unless it's booked on a private basis. And the main communal areas you can see also offer a lounge, a dining room, a dining area. Just very much the same, but just on a smaller scale. And you've got a private watering hole in front of the lodge as well, which you can actually see from the pool deck area as well as the main deck area where everybody dines for breakfast. So it's lovely to sit there all day. There's a constant flow of game coming through from Lalibela through to Kapana. And here's your luxury suites that you can see with lovely wraparound decks and those plunge pools, indoor-outdoor showers. Then Kapana Lodge has introduced the new Lalibela Villa, which you can see here. It's their exclusive use villa option. Absolutely beautiful. It's located between Main Lodge and Suite 1. And the villa also very lovely and spacious. It's got 3 bedrooms, a lounge, a dining room, kitchen. There's a fire pit, a room flow pool. You have your own private vehicle, private access, and a field guide. So this is really, really great for families with older children. And then lastly is Databa, which sits the highest up against the hillside with these stunning views over the reserve. I think each suite's really like a solo retreat. It's this is the exclusive use option out of the 3. It's tailored to what the guests really want to do. So it's almost like having your own private bush home. There's 4 luxury suites as well, so 8 guests. And there's the suite. So you can see very similar layout to the family suite at Lalibela, except obviously without the kiddies room. The newly built wellness spa, which is easily accessible. So all 3 lodges have access to the spa. There's the massage therapies, the various treatment rooms. We even have a kids spa where we do a little cubs massage for the little ones. And then a meditation and relaxation deck. And then in terms of dining experiences, I mean, we cover everything. There's the bush breakfast, breakfast barbecue or a pancake station. We do our safari stops, our family dining. There's private dining, the Boma dinners. So really depending on the length of stay of the guests and what they're wanting to do. And then we've got our traditional game drives morning and evening. We have 6 guests per vehicle. And if guests are wanting a private vehicle, this can be arranged on request. We also offer our bushwalks and various wildlife lectures. Right, so now we move along to Sala Beach House in KwaZulu-Natal. Sorry, this is the North Coast area, which Gemma actually mentioned in her presentation when she was chatting about Umhlanga. So there on the map, you can see Umhlanga, and just further up is Ballito. It's about a 15-minute drive from King Shaka Airport, which is the airport you will fly into. from various points within South Africa that you're connecting from. Otherwise, to Umhlanga, it's a 30-minute drive, and then from Durban itself is 40 minutes. So very accessible and easy to get to. So Sala Beach House is really a small boutique hotel. There's really nothing like it in this area. It's a perfect location on Thompson's Bay with these beautiful uninterrupted ocean views. It is a blue flag beach, so great for swimming and snorkeling in the rock pool areas. And also for those that haven't been, I mean, KwaZulu-Natal has a subtropical climate with this lovely lush tropical vegetation and warm weather. So it's really a great region to travel to all year round. It's small and intimate. It only has 7 suites in the hotel. The views are incredible, and the dolphins are often spotted swimming up and down along that shoreline. Well, it is called the Dolphin Coast, and that's why. So you can sit on that deck and spend hours watching them. And the guests then also have private access down to the beach. So here you can see the interior. Contemporary with natural colors and lots of light throughout, those cascading doors which open up, allowing all the fresh sea breezes to come through. I mean, life just really seems to slow down at Sala. It's very relaxed, understated luxury. There's different spots throughout the hotel for the guests to sit and relax and put your feet up. It's very much a personalized experience, and the staff are absolutely amazing. Oh, why is that not connecting? Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. Suites are spacious. You can see there's a lounge area, and you can sit on the deck with a cocktail enjoying the ocean views. There's a lot of attention to detail throughout the hotel. So you'll see there's the Kukoya beach wraps that the guests can take down to the beach. There's the yoga mats. There's stock beach bags with towels. We have an interleading option for families on the lower level, which is the pool view rooms. And then the guests will get a bottle of wine per room per day. There's daily sunset canapes included, and a daily cocktail for the guests when they come through after their day. We also have a villa at Sala, which is a self-contained private villa, 3 bedrooms en suite, absolutely beautiful. It's got a dining room, lounge, full kitchen. Personal butler is on hand 24/7. And also if they want a private chef, this can be arranged, or alternatively, they can eat at the main hotel. In terms of children ages, we don't take children under 12 years of age at Sala. These are your suites in the villa, also opening up to the beautiful gardens and the ocean views. And then the spa at Sala, I would highly recommend. Very popular. It's got the 3 treatment rooms, very much holistic style treatments, all organic, natural range of products used. And these are also the amenities that they actually use in the rooms. So lots of activities, guided marine walks. There's the Sala snorkel safari, for instance, which is a 2-hour snorkel and a 1-hour shore walk. There's a 3-night golf package that they have. We do boat excursions out to see the dolphins and the whales during the season. There's mountain biking, the yoga for guests, as I mentioned. And then we have the scenic coastal walk, which is about a 9-kilometer walk along. There's a trail along the coastline that the guests can do. Yeah. I won't show you the video because I'll pass that on to Gemma to share with everybody. So now we're going to move across to the garden route, which is a lovely stretch of coastline in South Africa, which Gemma mentioned earlier as well. And here you'll find the popular coastal town of Plettenberg Bay. It's a beautiful part of the world and a very popular self-drive route. And if guests are not doing a self-drive, they can fly directly into Plettenberg Bay from Johannesburg, Durban, or Cape Town. Or you can drive in from George, which is about an hour's drive. So very easy to get to. And here we have the old rectory, which is centrally located in Plet. You can actually see it there, and right opposite Plettenberg's main beach. So a phenomenal location. So the old rectory is actually a national heritage site that has been restored into a beautiful boutique hotel. It has a lot of character and charm. I love it. It's got a lovely atmosphere, real holiday vibes. So it's perfect for a beach holiday. It's a lovely layout. It only has 18 rooms, which is really centered around the main pool area and the gardens with those old beautiful milkwood trees that they've kept over the years. You've got the famous restaurant, the a la carte restaurant called 1777, where the guests can enjoy dinner, or we can set up breakfast out on the terrace under the milkwood trees as well. So here you can see the rooms, really light, bright and airy, very much Caribbean style. It's got the 2 categories. There's pool suites, which can accommodate families because they take children of all ages, with the interleading options. And then we've got the garden suites, which are at ground level. There's no steps, so perfect for those with limited mobility. They're also walled and private, with garden areas and a terrace with sunbeds. And then, of course, the spa building, which was originally the tiny chapel that was used for the missionaries way back then. And they've now converted it into the spa, which is a haven of relaxation. So really popular as well. And then Plettenberg Bay's main beach. The beach really is in walking distance from the hotel, literally directly across the road. It is also a blue flag beach, so safe for swimming. And the guests can spend the day on the beach. So the team will set up a picnic basket for the guests if they're wanting to spend the day watching the surfers and the kite surfers. And there's also a really great hangout just down, if you walk along the beach, called the Bungalow, which is quite casual, and you can go and have some snacks and cocktails there as well. Right, so from Plet, we head to the Eastern Cape. So it's about a 3-hour drive from Plettenberg Bay to Lalibela Game Reserve, which is just outside Port Elizabeth. If you are flying into Port Elizabeth, it's accessible. It's a 1-hour drive, really, and there are road transfers available from PE Airport to the reserve. You can just book that through the team. So Lalibela, for those that don't know the Eastern Cape area, Lalibela is part of a cluster of game reserves in a protected conservation area in the Eastern Cape. So the Lalibela covers quite a big area of 10,500 hectares and diverse wilderness, mountains on the western and eastern boundaries. There's valleys, there's rolling hills, stunning rivers, and lots of watering holes all over. And then you've got these beautiful savanna plains in the area. So great diverse landscapes. Each lodge you can see there is positioned in great locations around the reserve. We have 6 safari lodges catering for a wide variety of tastes and budgets. So it is a big 5-game reserve, self-sustaining reserve where the animals roam freely. Traversing offers plenty of choice and variety. It is malaria-free. It is a private game reserve, so only guests have access to the game viewing. There's no day visitors or public roads through this reserve. I think one of the many highlights for me especially is the big herds of game in this reserve. Buffalo, springbok, red hartebeest, which in turn, of course, supports the impressive predator load that they have. And I think Lalibela is one big conservation project. So to date, they have completed 90% removal of the invasive species, which is like the wattle trees that they've cleared out. And it's opened up these beautiful big areas in the middle, these savanna grasslands in the center of the reserve, which now supports obviously the high density of the plain game species that they have. And here you can actually see the savanna grasslands in the middle. So in terms of activities, you've got your morning and evening game drives. There's very strict policy of 2 vehicles per sighting, and we have 6 guests per vehicle. We offer walking safaris as well. The Big 5 walk, which is available for 18 years and over. And then we also have soft walking safaris, which have been introduced in a predator-free area. It's a wilderness area just adjacent to the existing Big 5 area. And this is really great for the whole family to get up close with giraffe and zebra and little warthog and various small antelope. I would recommend you book this though on arrival because it is weather dependent. So at Lalibela, we also have the option of booking a night drive at an additional cost with your guide. So the night drives will generally leave the lodge after you've had dinner, and these drives are an experience of their own. The bush takes on a different sound, scent, and shape at night. The whole atmosphere is completely different at night, and you'll get phenomenal sightings like your jackals, your spring hares, your porcupines, the badgers, the aardwolf, jennets, which is quite special, as well as the bird life that comes out in the evenings. So just quickly to run through the 6 different lodges. I mean, I did mention they cater for a wide variety, so really depending on what you're looking for. So Kichaka is Lalibela's luxury 5-star lodge. It has its own entrance and reception area to check in, as it's the only lodge on the eastern side of the reserve. And there's a mix of bush-facing and water-facing suites. Very spacious, heated plunge pools. It comes with all the bells and whistles. And it has a lovely spa facility as well, a la carte dining, and they don't take children under 14 years of age. Then we've got Mills Manor, which is quite different. It's a luxury farmhouse conversion, an exclusive use villa set on a hill overlooking the watering hole. It's got stunning views of the valley. There's 5 rooms and they're all en suite. So this is really nice for your multi-gen families as well, or friends traveling together. It comes with a private chef, a game vehicle, dedicated ranger, and no children under 2 years here. And then we've got our 4-star property, Lentaba Safari Lodge, which is actually called Lodge on the Hillside. It overlooks a watering hole. It's a very traditional African safari style lodge throughout, and you can see that with the decor, but very spacious and comfortable. It's only 10 rooms. And then we've got Inzolo Lodge, which is set on a craggy cliff top. Stunning location and views, overlooks these indigenous flora and exposed rock formations. So quite a pretty setting. There's also a watering hole down below. It's a lot smaller and more intimate and private. There's only 4 suites here, all with their own private viewing decks. This would be ideally suited probably for your honeymooners and couples, or even exclusive use. We've had quite a few bookings where they take it out exclusively. And you've got your inside showers and your outside baths, so quite different. It's really nice. And then Mark's Camp, so this is your Lalibela's 4-star family-friendly lodge situated in a wide valley overlooking that watering hole that you can see. Great for families of all ages. The camp is discreetly fenced in for the children's safety, but it really has a warm, fuzzy feel, and you can feel it. You can feel that homely feel that it is a family lodge. There's only the 8 rooms, so quite small as well and intimate. And they've got 3 family room options. So your classic family rooms, and then the one classic, classic family suite, which is quite big. Right, and then lastly, we've got the tented safari camp, which is has the thatched roof and tented walls and teak floors. So it's stilted high up in the trees. There's only 5 suites. It's treetop level with these raised walkways, also very quiet and secluded in the valley. They've actually got these beautiful views over. It's like a thickly wooded valley that you look through. So really nice. And then look, as I mentioned, Lalibela is one big conservation project. They call it conservation for conservation's sake. The owners have pledged that all surpluses generated on Lalibela are allocated to the conservation of the land, the animals, and the wider community. So some of the projects are your wildlife conservation and anti-poaching, the water purification plant, the alien tree removal, which I mentioned, the recycling and the plastic free. We've also got buy a blanket and donate a blanket, and these get donated to an early learning center in the community. So there's lots going on with Lalibela if your guests are interested in that. Right, and then lastly, we move across to the Western Cape in the Winelands area of Stellenbosch. And this is roughly about 40 minutes drive from Cape Town Airport, and probably about 50-minute drive from the waterfront or the city centre. Stellenbosch is South Africa's 2nd oldest town, very well known for its restored Cape Dutch architecture. And of course, it's synonymous with the wine and the many wineries in the area. And Lanzerac itself is a historic landmark and Stellenbosch icon. So the Lanzerac is actually a working wine farm with the vineyards you can see surrounding the hotel. It's just on the outskirts of Stellenbosch town in a beautiful, it's in the Jonkershoek Valley, which is absolutely stunning in between the Helderberg Mountains there. It's 5 minutes from town, so the hotel offers complimentary shuttles from the hotel to town 3 times a day, so guests can then enjoy walking around the town. It's very vibey and arty. It's a university town, so lots of trendy restaurants, coffee shops, art galleries, wine bars, and boutiques. It's really lovely. So Lanzerac actually is now, I'm just thinking, 332 years old. So it's got a lot of old world charm mixed with new contemporary modern influences. I did mention the Cape Dutch heritage, and at the Lanzerac you'll see this as you walk through the various parts of the estate. This that you're actually looking at is the iconic manor house, which you'll often see. It's actually a heritage site, and it used to be the original homestead on the wine farm. So we still use it. It's very popular for families or groups of friends. There's 5 rooms, but the Lanzerac Hotel itself has a total of 53 rooms and suites across the hotel. So as Gemma actually mentioned with Cape Town, especially, you know, Cape Town and Lanzerac's all about the food, the wine, the hospitality, the atmosphere. There's a variety of dining experiences for guests to experience, from your gourmet right through to farm-style menus. We have the lovely Manor Kitchen, which is really great. It's got a big open area with glass windows where the guests can watch the chefs prepare the meals. And if the guests are there on a Saturday afternoon, they really do a decadent high tea. And then we offer the traditional Sunday lunches. Here you can see tapas, which is a pub-style menu bar area where we have sharing platters, and it flows out onto a terrace area in the summer months. Very much traditional South African dishes here. Or you can enjoy a relaxing evening at Craven Lounge. We also do gourmet dishes there, but there's a lovely selection of international spirits, curated wine lists, craft beers, and then, you know, the piano is playing in the evening, and it's really a great atmosphere as well. The quaint Lanzerac Deli is a favorite breakfast and lunch destination for the locals and the tourists, and you can enjoy the courtyard area, or you can sit beneath the giant oak trees or inside the cozy venue. The deli has a shop. It has all these lovely great jams and sauces, olive oils, chutneys, and wines for sale. Perfect gifts and souvenirs. In actual fact, you won't walk out of there empty-handed. And this is actually the entrance also to the wine tasting and the wine cellar tours. So included in the guest stay, we offer a complimentary wine tasting of 5 of the Lanzerac estate wines. We also offer a complimentary cellar tour of the Lanzerac winery. And the tours run from at 11 o'clock every day. And the sommelier will actually tell you the story about Lanzerac being the first wine farm to bottle the Pinotage in 1954. So lots of history. So I won't go into too much detail, but there are 53 rooms and suites, as I mentioned, various categories. Here you can see the classic rooms. They're all extremely spacious, aircon, underfloor heatings, you know, your sat-nav TV, tea and coffee, Nespresso. They replenish the mini bars every day with the seasonal wine, fresh milk, snacks, juices, ciders, etc. You've got your luxury rooms. They're all very different. They've all been decorated in a different way. There's not one room that's the same, all different layouts, and they all have their own personality, which is quite nice. And here you've got your junior suites, which offer a private terrace, and there is one that has a private pool. And then our highest category is our suites, and these are really nice for long stays as well, with private pools, and one of them has a jacuzzi. And then we've got our spa, which, gosh, you can spend the entire day there. It's fantastic. Guests have access to use the spa's hydro facilities here, but there's lots to choose from at the spa. And then in terms of the swimming pools, there's various swimming pools in locations around the hotel. We have lots of activities. There's hikes. You can do, in those valley areas, you can do mountain biking. You can hire bicycles from the hotel. We have the wine trams, which are about a 30-minute drive away. And then we obviously, for kids, we do the kids menus, babysitting, and we offer board games and all that for them, keep them busy. And that's it, I think, in a nutshell. Did I make it on time? Yes.
Yeah, you did really good.
Did I?
That was amazing.
Really well.
I've been scribbling down notes there. That makes me want to go back to Africa so badly. But yeah, I was just looking, I've been flicking through the brochure whilst you were chatting, and we've got some really, really nice itineraries incorporating some of those beautiful properties in the Africa brochure. So we will send a link out to the brochure after the session. But yeah, amazing. Okay. Thank you so much, Leanne.
Sorry, I just tried to cover as much as I could in the time, but you know what, you know where to find me if you've got questions, and I will send you the trade room link as well that you can share with everybody that needs the, you know, all those fact sheets that you were talking about and maps, and which is really
that's amazing. Thank you. Right, okay, so we now have the Ask the Expert section. So we've got the lovely Ali, who's our Africa product manager. I just put that up because there's a nice picture of her actually in Africa there.
Relaxing.
But I'm going to stop showing so that Charlotte can spotlight Ali. So
thank you.
You guys very kindly sent some questions through. There were some amazing questions, so we'll try and get through them all, but we will kind of send out a follow-up as well. So if we don't have time to get through it all, yeah, we'll follow up. But I'll hand over to you, Charlotte, and I'll have a look through the chat. I don't know if you've already looked, or do you want me to have a look through the chat whilst you're chatting and see if there's any additional ones?
That would be great. Thank you, Gemma.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. Okay, so Ali, we had some amazing questions come through. So we're going to start off with, what would you say the top itinerary for Southern Africa is?
Okay, so top itinerary in terms of popularity, I think definitely for us is your very kind of classic Cape Town winelands garden safari. Most well known, but it's a classic for a reason, because it's just such an amazing itinerary. There's so much diversity. You can see so much of the country, and it can be really suited to different timescales and budgets. And what we find is that once people have done that the first time, they'll maybe have certain areas that they like better, or that are their favourite, that they want to return to, and then they'll spend a bit longer maybe in some of the destinations on their second trip or their third trip. Obviously it's a huge destination and there is so much going on, so by no means stick to this, but I think definitely if clients that are going for the first time, it's a winner.
Amazing. I also went to South Africa myself last year and it was incredible. So with that in mind, when is the best time to go to South Africa?
Well, so in terms of safari, which tends to be what people are planning their trip around, safari is great all year round, but there is a kind of general rule of thumb that your dry season is the best time to go because the bush is a lot sparser, there's not as much greenery and foliage, so you've generally got better sight of the wildlife. And also at this time, when it's dry, there are less water sources. So where those natural water sources are, or water sources that have been created in the parks, the animals will congregate around them. So generally for spotting the wildlife, this is a bit easier. So if you're talking about your kind of Kruger area, you're looking at the months between kind of May and September. August generally is the real peak, so it can be a great time to go, but also very busy. So you just need to bear that in mind in terms of planning and making sure that you're booking in for availability. Madikwe, that obviously Leanne has mentioned in the Eastern Cape, they do have a bit of a longer dry period, so they are considered a little bit more year-round potentially. So you've got these things to take into consideration. That being said, you know, I went in November last year to Kruger area, which is not necessarily considered the best month. We saw the Big Five, we saw a kill, so I wouldn't be too kind of caught up on the absolute best time, because really there are a couple of months at the beginning of the year that can be very wet, so people tend to maybe avoid that a little bit more, but otherwise it's, you know, a great time to go. Similarly, Botswana, kind of June to November are considered around the best times. You've got good visibility, and then the rains that have come earlier in the year have flooded the delta, so you've got your waterways are full and you can do your water-based activities like Macoro. But then again, depending on what your clients are looking for, if they've got a real interest in birding, for example, then those green seasons are great because you get amazing bird sightings at that time. And also, I really think it depends on what else the clients are doing. So you don't necessarily want to build it just around the safari section. If they're doing a full itinerary, you want to look at that as a whole and then figure out, based on that, what's going to give a good balance, because obviously you've got your different seasons. So in the Western Cape, that's going to differ from the east, or if they were going to KwaZulu-Natal. So I think it's really key to just know the full itinerary, what they're looking to do, and then build it into that.
Brilliant. And obviously our experts in the call centre can help them with that.
Of course.
Well, so aside from safari, what would be the best beach add-on?
So I saw somebody mentioned in the chat about Zanzibar, so I'll just quickly pick up on that point while we're talking about beach. So we don't sell East Africa at the minute. Watch this space. So, so Zanzibar wouldn't generally be our first port of call, but obviously you've got lots of other options. So if you're looking to go to one of the maybe more traditional beach areas, then Mauritius and the Seychelles are both really good add-ons from Southern Africa. You've got direct flights from Cape Town and Johannesburg. Mozambique, which is technically not a featured destination, but we absolutely can sail. We've got a really good partner in destination that can help us put together itineraries in Mozambique, and that's a really nice add-on from South Africa. From July through to January, you can actually get a direct flight from Mpumalanga in Kruger to Vilanculos in Mozambique. So it's a super easy add-on. If you're finishing off your safari in the Kruger area, you can jump on a short flight over to Vilanculos and you're in Mozambique within just over an hour. So that's amazing. And then KwaZulu-Natal, which obviously Leanne's speaking about Sala, it's also a really great option for a beach. It's not your kind of traditional Mauritius, Indian Ocean type all-inclusive resort, but you've got gorgeous coastline, and you do have that real microclimate. So if you're traveling during our summer months, during the school holidays in July or August, which would be winter in the Western Cape, then you're more likely to get some nice warm weather in that KwaZulu-Natal area. So that's also a really nice add-on, staying within South Africa itself.
Amazing, thank you. So how many safaris would you actually go on in one trip?
I like this question because I think until I had travelled more in Africa and I'd been on trips where I'd done multiple safaris within one trip, I had a bit more of an impression of your safari as just one portion of your trip. So you're doing your Cape Town, your winelands, etc., and then you're doing 3 or 4 nights in safari, and that was that ticked. Completely changed my opinion now, because every single safari is different. Every safari you go on will be different. And especially places like Zimbabwe, like Botswana, where you've got such a vast range of landscape, of wildlife, of scenery. You can do these really nice circuit itineraries that will have you spending 2 or 3 nights in one place and then going on to another, and will have a completely different experience because the landscape varies so much, which obviously impacts the wildlife. And you can really have a circuit doing 8, 9 nights and not feel like you're safaried out whatsoever, which I think some people maybe have that slight concern. And the good thing about doing these circuits is a lot of the lodges, or a lot of the kind of groups of lodges, have got camps in various different places. So they'll offer circuit packages where you can get discounts, where you can get value adds. It helps you travel around, it helps the cost, and also you know from a customer point of view that because they're within the one group, they're going to have a real nice consistency of service. So for example, if you're staying in one lodge and the team there know that your favourite drink's a gin and tonic, or that you don't eat dairy, that information is all passed on to the next. So as soon as you arrive at the next lodge, they'll already have that information in place. So it just gives a nice kind of elevated level of service, and it's a really nice way of doing it. I think it comes down to what the main purpose is for the trip. So if your clients are all about the safari, then it is absolutely worthwhile doing one of these circuit itineraries. If it is just a part of the stay and they're doing South Africa and they're doing a self-drive, then probably one lodge is fine. But it really depends what their kind of core interest and driving force for the trip is.
Amazing, thank you. And then the next question we had was, where are the best areas to stay if you're not on a self-drive?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, it all comes down to the client and their interest and what they want to experience when they're there. But if you've got customers that are going into Cape Town itself can be extended way beyond a kind of 2-3 day stay, which a lot of people just tend to do. And we get a lot of people saying that actually they wish they'd spent more time in Cape Town because it's such an amazing city and there's so many different areas within Cape Town itself where you can stay. So a lot of people will automatically, especially if it's a first time visit, look at hotels in the waterfront. But there are really nice neighbourhoods to stay in. You can go over to Camps Bay, which is a bit more kind of chilled and relaxed and a bit more local to spend some time. You can go out to Constantia, which is the closest wine region to Cape Town, and spend a bit of time there. And then it's also really easy just with a road transfer to get to the winelands or to get to Hermanus. So you can do a nice little circuit just within a kind of hour or so drive of each other, all by road transfer, where you're going to have different experiences. If you're going during whale season, then you've got that opportunity. On the southwest coast, you can do the winelands, you can do all the amazing food experiences, and then, as I say, from Cape Town you've got lots of day trips that you can do down to Simonstown to see the penguins, down to the peninsula to go to the reserve down there. So that little corner of South Africa can fill an itinerary really easily,
and not having to drive and transfers all the way through. Brilliant. So the next question we had was, they're looking to know more about the ethical animal encounters, as more and more clients are asking about this. As we know, it's becoming more and more topical.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not 100% sure whether this is a more general question about kind of us as an operator ensuring that we are working with partners that have got high standards of animal welfare, or if it's specific experiences. So just a little kind of cover of both. So obviously the partners that we do work with throughout Southern Africa, they absolutely have got the well-being of wildlife at the forefront of everything they do. It's really reflected in all aspects. So the standard of the guiding, there's constantly evolving projects with regards to dropping fences to create more traversing lands and rewilding of endangered species, foundations, charities that the partners are either responsible for setting up or are themselves affiliated with. So they're, in terms of an overall kind of concern or otherwise as to is it ethical to go on safari or to do a holiday to South Africa, then absolutely. More specifically, if guests want to have a particular animal experience, then this is also something that a lot of the lodges can facilitate. They're not really kind of commercial experiences in the sense that they're widely advertised or they're not sold as a tour as such, but there'll be certain practices that the kind of trained professionals will be carrying out, and potentially small numbers of guests can be a part of it if they're there at the right time. So, for example, quite often some of the wildlife will be fitted with electronic trackers or collars so that the teams can monitor their movement, and guests can sometimes be there when these are fitted. So, or anti-poaching, for example, a lot of the properties use anti-poaching collars for rhinos. They have software in them which then alerts the anti-poaching team if there's any unusual behaviour, and they can send a drone up to check and make sure the animal's safe, or where needed send somebody out to check on it. They don't just carry these procedures out for no reason. So it's, as I say, it's not a tour, it's not an experience in terms of I can book this for this date. If the procedure is being done anyway because there is a need for it, then there may be the opportunity to join the vets and the anti-poaching team who carry out the work, and it can be an incredible experience. And then you've also got places like the Big Cat Sanctuary in Shamwari in the Eastern Cape, which is part of the Born Free Foundation. They've got an education centre there that guests can visit. I mean, there is so much happening in Africa that's centred around conservation and the welfare of wildlife. And there are lots of ways that guests can get involved. Again, it's just about finding out as much information from the client as possible. And then, you know, obviously everything we do is completely tailor-made, completely bespoke, so we can then weave that into the itinerary. And then obviously you've also got things that are a little bit more commercial, like the whales, and you go down to Boulders Beach to see the penguins. So you know, at Boulders Beach, you've got a huge African colony of penguins. There's a platform, like a kind of walkway that's been built, and there's a education centre there, and you just walk along the walkway and the penguins are all underneath you on the beach, and that's where they burrow and they nest. So you're not touching them or anything, but you can observe them, and it's amazing to see. And there's actually a property just at Boulders Beach called Tinswallow, and they've got a little private gate that leads directly from the property to a walkway just behind the beach. And if you go out first thing in the morning, if you stay there, you can be there before any of the other tourists arrive. And as you walk along their private walkway, you can see some of the penguins all kind of nestled under the bushes where they've been sleeping during the night. And then you can walk out onto the walkway at the beach and see them all first thing before any other kind of tourists or guests arrive, which is pretty cool.
Sounds amazing. And I've actually been to Shamwari, and got to go to their reserve centre, and it's incredible to see where they've rescued these amazing animals and how long they're going to be caring for them. But the biggest highlight for me was that when you're wandering around, the animals can't see you. Yeah. So you can see them, but they cannot see you. And that's to ensure that they can be rehabilitated and taken back into the wild quite easily. And I never knew that looking after an elephant, if you get an elephant that's rescued at 6 months, you don't actually release that elephant until they're 10. So that is a long time of looking after and caring for these incredible animals. So yeah, they do a lot of incredible work over there. So it was nice to witness for myself. So we've just got a couple more questions. So I'm quite conscious of time. So client, again, this is a question that was sent in. So clients are always nervous about safety in South Africa, and especially into regards of self-driving down the garden route. Is there any reassurance that we can give them, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that comes up fairly frequently, and it's something that I get asked a lot by our partners in South Africa, like how, you know, what is the concern about driving, and do people feel worried about coming to South Africa? And I think, you know, it's a bit like anywhere, you only really hear bad things on the news, and understandably that can put people on edge. You know, I can only really speak from personal experience, which is to say that I've absolutely never had any issues driving in South Africa, never felt scared or concerned. I think the thing to really know is that if you are doing that garden route, it is a really well established network of roads. You're on highways, you're on main roads, it's well signposted, the roads are in good condition. There is no need for you to go off the kind of beaten path or to feel lost at any point. You're always somewhere kind of public and secure. And just something to maybe be a little aware of, when you're driving in South Africa, when you park, generally, if it's car park or the side of the road, there will be kind of wardens. It's not official. There will be people that are there to just kind of watch your car for you. They'll have a high vis on, and you kind of go away, do your thing and come back, and you would give them a small tip, a couple of pounds. It's not a large amount at all, but they they are watching your car and making sure that you feel safe. And I've spoken to loads of partners down in South Africa who are, you know, they're like, this is genuinely a service that's been offered. It's not a scam. It's not anybody's trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's actually a bit of reassurance for tourists. It's people from kind of low or no income households. It gives them a chance to make a little bit of money, and it just gives you a bit of assurance. And genuinely, they are there to help and there to make you feel comfortable. So it shouldn't be seen as a negative. It's absolutely a positive.
Amazing. Yeah, I experienced that myself in Johannesburg. Somebody watched the minibus that I was on the whole time for us and found us another parking space when we went for a little trip and came back. So yeah, absolutely.
And then just on self-drive, actually, just for Namibia, because we can do self-drive in Namibia as well. So it's just worth noting that is a lot more remote. So for any car hire that we do in Namibia for self-drive itineraries, the clients will always receive, when they arrive in Namibia, they'll always receive a local mobile phone, which will be pre-programmed with the local ground handler's number and all of the phone numbers for all of the accommodation that they're staying in. And it'll also have, in the car, they'll have a spare tyre and cooler box with water and provisions and things. And again, this isn't to kind of say, oh, you're going to get lost. It's just to say that is there as a level of reassurance if you need it. And obviously in South Africa as well, they'll always have contact numbers for us and all of our local partners on the ground.
Amazing. And then another one, so best product for families.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Leanne's mentioned a few great options there for families, and within the brochure we've got a few itineraries that are specifically designed for families, and that is highlighting accommodation that has got great kids activities, kids programs, really good family units, or kind of standalone accommodation options. So that's just a really good kind of starting point. It's also worth, depending on the size of the family, or if it's a few families travelling together, some of the exclusive buyout products, because particularly for safari, it can offer a lot more flexibility. Generally, you'll have your own private vehicle, you can be really flexible about what time you want to go out on drives and things like that. So lots of really great family-friendly product. Definitely have a look at the brochure and some of the itineraries there. There's so much to cover, there's so much product to cover, but you know, as Leanne's mentioned, a couple of really good options there as well.
Amazing. And Gemma, is there any others in the chat box? I'm just conscious that we are running over, and I've seen a few people that have might have to leave.
There was the one about Zanzibar, which Ali touched on, and then someone was asking if Ali is based in Glasgow, and yes, she is based in Glasgow. So yeah, we only had one more question, which we've run out of time, but we'll pop the agent a note. It was asking about suggestions for people in their 30s for where to go on safari, so we'll share all of that with you. But I want to give you a round of applause, Ali. That was amazing. Again, I've learned so much, and we had like tons of questions coming in. So thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge with us. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, as Charlotte said, obviously Ali works with our tailor-made specialist within our call centre in Glasgow to help and support and answer your questions. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Ali?
I'm going to make one other quick point before we sign off, which is just to say, for anybody that doesn't know, that hasn't been themselves or doesn't realise, something that is so worth impressing on your clients as well is how amazing value South Africa is when you're out there. So that, you know, obviously the price for the holiday itself, like everything, flight prices, whatever, it can sometimes be, depending on what they're doing, a little bit maybe higher than they want to spend, but the value for money in South Africa is unbelievable. It's 23 rand to the pound. You can go out in Cape Town, have a beautiful meal, you know, something that you would easily pay £150 for in the UK, and it'll cost you £30 or £40, £3 for a gorgeous glass of wine. You can tell what my priority is eating the wine. But literally, the value for money when you're there is like nowhere else. If you've got clients that are looking to do this sort of self-drive, wildlife, outdoor holiday, and they're maybe looking at Canada as an alternative as well, what they will spend in North America compared to South Africa is like, honestly, I cannot impress upon you enough how good the value is. So it's really worth bearing in mind.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Ali. Right, I'm quickly gonna share my screen again. You just bear with me. We've got our spinning wheel. We need to do our prizes. So I know that some people have had to jump off, but we've got two lovely prizes from Leanne. We've got two goodie bags, including some like bits and pieces and goodies from her amazing properties, and there's some M&S vouchers in there as well, so you could get yourself a nice bottle of wine. So We've got 2 to give away. I'm spinning the wheel. Hopefully you can see the wheel. And if you are still on the call, give us a shout. And I think Roberta is for Flora.
Yes, absolutely. Still here.
Congratulations, Roberta. We'll pop you an email so we can get your address and get your goodie bag posted to you. So good job. I got you that link this morning. Right. Okay. Let's give it one more spin. Lily Hastings. Have we got Lily on?
Oh, I love the clapping.
I've got. I don't have Lily. If you're here,
unmute yourself and say hello.
No, I don't think we
we'll do one more spin. Let's hope. I feel bad because some people have had to drop off because we've run over. There was just so much to get through. Amy Pettigrew, is Amy with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah,
yay, well done, Amy. So we'll pop you a note and get your home address so that we can get your goodie bag in the post. So thank you so much, guys. It's honestly, it's been such a fab webinar. I've learned loads. So thank you, Leanne. Yeah. Thank you, Ali. Thank you to all you, our lovely agents for joining us. And yeah, if anybody does want copies of the brochure, do let us know. As I say, it is available to view online, and we've also got some Africa products in our Journeys brochure too. But we will send out a follow-up email with all the amazing fact sheets so you can all be Africa specialists on the back of this. There'll be a link to the recording of the call. But yeah, if anyone else needs anything else at all, just bear us in mind. And yeah, we'll keep you posted on our activity with the Africa Travel and Tourism Association as well, which we're very excited to be part of. So thanks for your time, guys. Thank you, Leanne and Ali. Thanks, Charlotte.
Pleasure. Thank you so
much.
I
hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all soon.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks so much.